Hey everybody, welcome back to another Monday Night Combat upload, brought to you by your friendly neighborhood Strider. And today I'm going to bring you some strategy commentary for my second favorite class in the game, the tank. The good old-fashioned tank, the high health, high damage, capability, character class with a heart of gold. And of course the epic beard. Now, the tank is, frankly, a very good class to play. He is, in fact, one of the most flexible and adaptable characters in the game. You can play long range, you can play close range, depending on the tools you have. You can slay pros, or you can push bots. He's just so flexible. He is just, oh, so goddamn diverse. Just depending on the endorsements you put on him, you can just do it all. You can have 6 custom slots devoted to the tank, and you can do anything you want. And of course, most importantly, I like playing tank because, well, frankly, in order to avoid assassin stacking. 2 assassins can be fun if they're both decent assassins even. You can just wreck your shit time after time again. But, you know, we're talking about pub games here, so the chances of playing against a good assassin is about as good as, finding, I don't know, a 4-leaf clover? Something like that? Meeting Jesus? I don't know. It's very unlikely, alright? And you know, despite the assassin's high learning curve, the tank is very similar to the assassin in the fact that the tank has a high learning curve as well. He has some very awkward combat areas. He suffers at medium range, and he will frankly suffer at trying to get in close. And at long range, he can't do a whole lot besides pushing bots and hitting pros from afar, but you're going to need some good aim even if you're good with the railgun at long range. But if you put in the time to learn the tank as much as you learn the assassin, you will find a very rewarding, very diverse character class that will help you do a lot of things to fill in whatever gaps your dumbass teammates may lack. Now let's jump right into the tools here. The jet gun, the gun I have out right now. Also, by the way, this is a fun build focusing on gold reload. This allows me to spam Death Blossom, but it's not a serious build. My serious build is gold rate of fire, silver armor, and bronze skill recovery. But more on that later. Now, the jet gun is basically a flamethrower from any other game. Hit detection is a little wonky depending on your host, but even if you hit your opponent a little bit, you'll scare them off due to afterburn damage, which is very, very useful. The afterburn damage will prevent them from healing immediately, so they're going to need constant supports in order to help them brush off that fire damage. Also, of course, the alt fire to the jet gun is the Death Blossom, a deadly spin attack that pretty much destroys anything in its path. All breach bots, all normal breach bots like Slims and Blackjacks will pretty much be destroyed by the Death Blossom unless they're overhealed. And and if you're juiced, you'll pretty much destroy any pro with the Death Blossom. Juiced Death Blossom, this is a force of nature. The only thing that might survive a juiced Death Blossom might be gold armored classes like gunners and tanks. You can use your jet gun in order to get juice. You can build some fairly good juice by hitting bots with it. You won't get a whole lot if you use your Death Blossom, but you can also use melee and get a whole lot more. The tank's secondary weapon is the railgun. It's his long-range weapon, and it is pretty much his only answer for long range. It is a hit scan. It is a hit scan weapon. It lacks any damage fall off. And is extremely accurate, even without, well, the jet gun is basically a laser. Even more so than the laser railgun as it technically is. But it's very accurate, even in extreme ranges. Accuracy endorsements will help with hit detection, but I prefer not to run accuracy endorsements because I don't believe in magic numbers like that. I see a small dot with railgun accuracy, and I think, well, it's a dot. I will hit what I hit. If I don't, it's because it was slightly off. And the alt fire to the railgun is a grapple, of course, but it's a special grapple because you get knockback right off the bat. Very useful for crowd controlling juiced players, and also taking care of people who get the drop on you in close combat, like supports or assaults. Gunners are more important than that. Now, let's talk about the skills. The skills, like any this is a really awesome moment. Talking about the charge later on. Actually, let's talk about the charge right now. Yes, charge is one of the tank's most important skills, and as you can see right there, you can use charge for offensive purposes, movement purposes to get in closer, and of course defensive. I used the charge right there defensively. I charged off the map and I saw a little ledge, and luckily it worked. The ledge stopped the airstrike from hitting me, and I was quite frankly surprised it worked. But the charge is pretty much the reason why the tank has a slight advantage, or even a major advantage over the gunner. Tank assists with charge assists the tank in mobility in ways that only a gunner can dream of. Close the distance quickly, use Death Blossom, hit the enemy with charge, and then Death Blossom. Pretty much anything will die from that combo. Charge off ledges, tank jump with your jump jets. And of course, using charge in order to back off from hot situations that you can't see yourself winning. And of course, charge 3 will apply stun and... stun, yes, stun. Whereas the alt fire of your railgun is very risky because you need to get in close to juice players. The charge at level 3 pretty much guarantees anything in front of you is going to get hit, it's going to get stunned, and it's going to be easy pickings for your alt grapple. Charge is very useful. Very, very useful. This is why you use skill regen on bronze. So you can have that, not only is charge 3 very quick recharge, but bronze recharge time on that will just make it crazy fast. You'll always have it ready. Alright, right there you see product grenade. Product grenade. It's important to upgrade product right out the bat because it doesn't do anything. It pretty much doesn't do anything at level 1. It's only a normal grenade at level 1. You want it at level 2 so that you can get the blind stun effect. It will blind your pros with spammy advertisements, and it will stun bots. Not only will stunning the bots, you know, let you attack them without fear of, you know, getting bombarded by lasers, but it's a very nice fire and forget tool. You can lob the product grenade from across the map, hit a wave of bots in the bot lane, and your own bots will be able to pick up the rest of the slack because their enemy bots are now officially stunned, and they'll finish the job for you. So in addition to using the railgun to push bots from long range, you can use the product grenade in order to also help your own bots push. And really, pushing lanes is pretty much one of the most important things you can do in the game. Deploy. Of course, you won't see me using deploy a whole lot in this game. It has very limited use. A stationary tank is a dead tank. But deploy 2 has its uses, especially if you combine it with some health regen. Health regen will, on top of deploy 2, which increases your health regen while you're deployed, it will let you regen health very quickly. If you want to get back into the fight quickly but need to recharge your health, that's pretty much all you need to do. Just charge to safety, deploy, get your health back, and get right back in the game. It's really useful for that. I wouldn't recommend using it for anything else, even though level 3 gives you regenerating ammo, which can be really useful for destroying the money ball quickly. But otherwise, you're better off just using it as an outside danger zone health recharge. And lastly, of course, we have passive, tank passive. Now, I don't recommending upgrading passive right away in the beginning of the game, because there's a little trick that all tanks like to use called clutch passive. Clutch passive pretty much means what clutch passive does is that as soon as you upgrade your passive, which increases your health and regen, that upgrade in health pretty much instantly fills your health. So you got an assault chasing you, you're trying to charge away, but he's dead set on following you. Well, turn a corner, upgrade your passive, and suddenly you're at full health, ready to surprise a very, very unexpected assault. It's quite funny when you pull it off correctly. Now, let's see. Combat situations and general tank gameplay. Generally, the tank is very hard to handle at the beginning of the game without its upgrades. Even with product grenades 3, even with product 2 and charge 2, you'll find yourself struggling against more, I don't know, ready and abled pros with different skills. Even an assault with unupgraded skills can function very well, but a tank is going to need an upgraded skills in order to do work. Charge 3 will let them take care of post-combat situations much, much easier. Especially since a lot of supports are running rate of fire gold that lets them spam their shotgun a lot. Assaults can kite the tank. Gunners, well, you gotta be careful about gunners. They can surprise you, but outside surprise, you can use your railgun, so that's a little different. And of course, snipers, railgun, and product grenade will help, especially product 3 to give a little bit of area denial. Another important, so you're going to want to upgrade your skills before you seriously decide to be a pro slayer. Let's see, besides from that, also make note that while the assassin has the luxury of escaping from bad situations, especially with the smoke bomb jump, the tank has the same kind of mentality of escape, except it's a little slower and more passive. What the tank needs to do is that, with his extra health, you need to gauge the situation. Okay, I can handle this situation. I can handle this situation. I'm gonna do a little bit more damage, and as soon as you think things get bad with the tank's health, as soon as you hit, like, I don't know, yellow health, or even lose a little bit of health, that's your cue as a tank to think, okay, it's time for me to run away, and my extra health will help me get away with it scot-free. Basically, pick your fights as a tank. You don't need to play on their terms, especially with your high health. Your high health means your enemy's gonna have to work really hard in order to kill you. I mainly prefer to keep my railgun out in order to discourage enemy attack. And, yeah, hit assaults from far, hit gunners from far, hit snipers, lol, from afar. But, if you manage to catch a pro distracted, or also if you're escorting bots, your bots will also help give you cover. This is where your jet gun and charge comes in. Pretty much, even if your pro knows you're there, if you're escorting bots, your bots will give you a bit of cover, so you can use solid cover they provide you from enemy fire to use combinations such as charge, death blossom in order to pretty much kill them at close range. Tank really shines at close range combat, even more than how useful a railgun is at long range. You're gonna want to jet gun is what you want to use if you can get the drop on the foes and get the charge in and get the death blossom in, pretty much. I have one more note to say. One more note I want to drop is also the juice. The tank is one of the slowest classes when it comes to juice gain. Very, very slow. This is why it's paramount that you survive and play smart as a tank, because since you're gaining juice slowly, you're going to want to be careful with your death so that you can preserve what little juice you always gain. But once you get your juice bar full, it's pretty much a warpath for the tank. The tank, since he earns juice so slowly, I pretty much like to think that it takes him forever to get juice, but once he has juice, he's even more effective with it than the assassin. He gets juice like 9 times in a game. The jet gun will pretty much melt through everything, pros and turrets alike. So you can hit both pros and turrets at the same time as a juice tank. Also, Death Blossom while juiced pretty much kills everything. The only thing that will pretty much survive Death Blossom would be a gold armored tank, or maybe just tanks, but even then they're only going to survive one more Death Blossom. And you can see I just go on another rampage. There goes 2 fire bases, a laser blazer, an assassin, and you're out of there. Now you can see, tank is very tough to deal with if you know how to play with them, and hopefully the strategy commentary gives you an idea how to correctly play tank, or at least how I play tank. This is how I play tank, and it gets me a lot of results. Alright. Well, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about the tank from this strategy commentary. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the video, because I know I did. See you guys later.
Decides to throw a slumber party to orchestrate her murder. Meanwhile, Estelle accidentally sells Carl at a garage sale. Do I smell award-winning